What up, y'all? It's me, ya boy, Jimmy from Mouse Hat Games, and today we are building a computer. Got a table full of computer parts, and let's get started!
Yeah!
So, why are we building a computer? Good question, you. I'm glad you asked. My brilliant co-developer Felipe has set up a fantastic system where we just press a button, and then a computer somewhere else turns all of our code into binary, and then uploads it to Steam, and it does it all for all the versions, Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's really fantastic. Now, up until now, we've been using a rented server in the cloud for this cloud build process. But there were kind of two problems with that. Problem number one, there are a lot of issues with the cloud build that are about 1 billion times easier to fix if we have physical access to the machine. And the other problem is that the cloud servers that we rent are like hella expensive, to the point where if we build a server ourselves, it becomes cost effective after like 7 or 8 months. Plus, then I get a computer. So we're gonna build a computer, and then the computer is gonna build Logic World. Woo! I am really excited about this. I love building computers. It's so fun, but I rarely get to do it because it's a pretty expensive hobby. So I'm excited about this excuse. Let's get started. So, the first step when building a computer is to take off your socks. If you have socks, you can build up static electricity and then, zap a component and destroy it. And while the risk of that is really low, I would feel really, really dumb if I destroyed hundreds of dollars of hardware because I didn't want to take off my socks. So off the socks go!
Can you do this on a carpet? Like, can you make a computer on a carpet?
Don't build a computer on a carpet. It's unwise. You can build good question. You can build a computer anywhere if you have like an anti-static wristband on, but I'm too cheap for those. So.
How much do they cost?
Like $5 or $6.
Wow, yeah, real expensive. Just a person building a computer.
So, the first component in a computer is the motherboard. Let's open this box. Fuck, how do you open boxes, Beth? Look at all that. Wowzers. Got a manual, got an I/O shield, M.2 screw, another M. Why are they in separate bags of the same screw? Got a couple SATA cables, and the motherboard itself in an anti-static bag.
The real question is, what is a motherboard?
That's a great question, Beth. I'm glad you asked. So, the motherboard is kind of the thing that holds the computer together. Everything else connects to the motherboard. You can see there's a million little slots and holes for stuff. And then the motherboard lets them all communicate. Okay, so the next part we're going to install is the CPU, or kapoo, as the kids say. So,
who says that?
I say that, Beth. I'm a kid. You don't get to judge me. Only
You're
God
turning
can judge
20
me.
in like a month.
So this is the cooler, because, you know, electricity running through parts makes them hot. So this kind of mesh of metal helps distribute the heat, and then the fan blows through the mesh of metal and sends the heat out of there. It's pretty cool.
Jesus, oh my god. I'm not a fan of that.
And here's the actual CPU itself. Ooh, and it comes with a sticker. I love stickers.
Damn, so small.
It's pretty small, yeah. It's amazing that this tiny piece of silicon can do as much math in a second as I could do in 10 years. But you know what I love more than CPUs? I love stickers, so I can tell all my friends what kind of CPU I have in my computer. Anyways, we got the CPU. And you notice it's kind of a little square thing. Got all those little pins for sending signals. And there's kind of a little square thing on the motherboard.
Whoa!
So Beth, what do you think is our next step here?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think you're supposed to put the square thing on the weird thing that moves.
Beth, you are an idiot, and I'm ashamed to be related to you. You put the CPU into the CPU socket here, and actually you might need to move this pin first or something. I'm gonna look at the manual, hold on. So we got a manual. So first, I was right, you do actually take this lever and like move it up or something. Shit, how do you do that? Aha! You move it like that.
You're so proud of you.
I'm proud of myself too, Beth. I don't need your external validation, but thank you for it anyways. So we open that up, and then that should allow our CPU to drop right in. We match up this marked corner with the marked corner on the motherboard. Boom, fits right in. And now we pull this pin down again to lock it in place. Doing this is always really nervous because there's resistance and you can hear things cracking.
Oh god.
It feels like you're breaking things, but you're not. So just grit your teeth and... oh, there wasn't any nasty sounds that time. That was better than the last time I did this. And now we put the cooler on. That's pretty cool. Get the shit out of here, Beth. What are you doing?
That wasn't me. I haven't touched any. Wow, great job.
A lot of CPU coolers mount to this part of the motherboard here, but this CPU cooler that came with our CPU mounts directly to the screws underneath these mount points. So you have to take these mount points out. Look,
he managed to do some screws.
Good job, me.
Nailed it. Okay.
All right, got one off and got two off. So one thing about building a computer, or building lots of things, is that it's really easy to lose screws. And screw that.
Oh my god.
So I like put them somewhere where I won't lose them. Okay, so this thing on the back is what the CPU screws into. So we put what the cooler screws into. So we put these screws through the holes of the motherboard and into this thing on the back, and then this thing and the cooler together act like a clamp to hold it close and tight to the CPU. Okay, so time to screw. That's what she said.
Oh my god.
Now that screw's fully tightened. Okay, that screw's fully tightened. And that screw's fully tightened.
I have a question not related to the cooler.
That's cool.
What is this tiny little circular thing?
You know what? I have no idea. So, in order for the fan to spin, it's got to have electricity and power. That's why it has a cable here for plugging in. And it looks like there should be something that says CPU fan on the board.
Do you actually read stuff like that, or is that exaggerated for this?
Jeez, this is one of the worst motherboard manuals I've ever seen.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Like, okay, for God's sake, it's got this little diagram of the motherboard with the little numbers, and then the things corresponding to those numbers are on the opposite page, so you can't look at the diagram and the legend for the diagram at the same time. Yeah.
You're just supposed to have a photographic memory, Jimmy. Come on.
Okay, so we're going to plug in this little cable into the CPU fan thing. I'm a fan of this process.
I already used that. You still have me. That's not cool.
Okay, there we go. Nice.
You can see where it is.
Yeah, in retrospect, I think I would have rather rotated the CPU cooler 180 degrees so that the cable would be taut and not just flopping around like this. But, what is life but one long series of disappointments and regrets? So the RAM, also known as memory, is it holds the data that the CPU is working with currently. So if you think of the CPU as kind of a person working at a desk, then the RAM is the desk that holds all the papers and whatnot, metaphors. So let's open up this box, get some RAM installed. Woohoo! Boom, there it is.
Damn.
Yeah, so we got 2 sticks of RAM here, and we got 4 memory slots. When you have 2 sticks of RAM and 4 memory slots, there's a particular 2 slots you're supposed to use for the best performance. So I'm going to look up which slots those are in the motherboard manual. Okay, so after reading the manual for 5 minutes, I'm really confused. It's a terrible manual. But I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to use A2 and B2, so let's do that. So first we open up the RAM slot, Oh wait, does that side not open? Okay, I will not break it then. That would have been really embarrassing if I broke it. So then we take our memory. These are little conductive gold pins where electrical signals are sent back and forth. You'll notice there's a little slot there. We line up that slot with the notch there. Okay, I got it in. Now I just push it down, and this is another time when you're building a computer where it's going to feel like stuff is breaking, but you just have to force it anyways. So push it down until it snaps into place. There we go.
Look at that. I
Boom.
only saw your hands during that, but
okay.
it's fine.
Yay, our computer has memory. So this is our storage, which is a Western Digital SSD. So storage is where you store big, large data. So back to the analogy of the CPU being a person and then the RAM is their desk. The storage is like their filing cabinet on the other side of the room. So when the CPU needs to work with some data, it goes to the storage and it gets the files it needs, and then it puts them in the RAM so it can work on it. All right, let's open this bad boy up. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's a good boy. Isn't that absolutely, like, mind-blowing, Beth, that this tiny, tiny chip holds 500 billion bytes of data? Like, that's crazy, man. That's utterly crazy. Okay, so this guy goes in there. There we go.
I feel like there should be a disclaimer in this video that you should actually read the manuals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't follow Jimmy.
This is not a tutorial. I'll link to some good PC building tutorials in the description. This is just me and Beth hanging out building a computer.
Oh, yeah.
And you get to come along for the ride.
Favorite Monday night activity.
Mine too, but unironically. So remember those screws from before, and I was confused about why they were in two separate bags with the same screw. This is what we use them for. It's got a teeny tiny little screw.
Oh, damn.
And that will hold down our M.2 SSD. It goes in there. Boom.
Wait.
That looks like it's nice and secured. But we're basically done. This is pretty much a computer.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay, so first let's clean up the table, and then we're going to open the case.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, open the box of the case, and then we'll open the case.
Okay.
So we built all the computer bits that actually do computing over there, and then those computer bits go inside of a big box. So let's open it up. I don't know how to open boxes. I'm sorry. Da da da. Da da da. How do I get it out?
Wow.
Wowzers. All right, so let's take a look at what we have. So it's nice and small. It's a nice petite little boy. Or girl. Beth, what do you think the gender identity of this case is?
Non-binary.
Non-binary. It's a nice petite little non-binary
Kiddo.
Anyways, as I was saying, it's nice and petite. I like that. It's going to be easy to have the server out of the way and stored somewhere. Right away, I see this magnetic dust filter on the top intake, and I love that. Magnetic dust filters are the best thing ever. They're so easy to clean. Just snap them off, snap them on. Nice. So on the front, we got, standard for computers, some USB ports, power button. Ooh, that's really satisfying to press. That is the best power button I have ever encountered. Oh my goodness, I love it. And then we have, I don't even know what that thing is. We have a restart button. The restart button is awesome too. I think I've worked with maybe 6 or 7 computer cases in my life, and this is far and away the best front panel buttons I've ever encountered. Holy crap. Then we have headphone and microphone jack. Those will probably never be used because this is a server. Oh, come on. Seriously? Okay. Any goodwill this case just built up for me with the amazing buttons was just destroyed by slapping their logo on the front. Come
why?
on. I hate brands. I hate branding. I just want to have a nice, clean, black front. Let's open her up and see what's inside. Once again, we got some screws here. We don't want to lose these because then we'd be screwed.
That's like the 8th time!
Boom. It's the inside of the case. Wow.
Whoa. Hey, look, more branding.
Great. Love branding. Just kidding. All right, here's our bag of goodies. Yay. In our bag of goodies, we got a bunch of zip ties.
Hell yeah.
Whole bunch of... what the hell is that?
Thing.
This thing looks like a wad of hot glue, maybe. I hope it's not important because I'm throwing it in the garbage. Bye.
You missed the garbage.
You missed the garbage. We're going to put the motherboard assembly with all the other parts we put in the motherboard inside the case. So you've probably seen something like this before on the back of your computer. The motherboard has a bunch of plugs in it where you plug in cables and monitors and mice and keyboards and whatnot. And this thing goes right there in the case. Nice. But wait, Jimmy. There's a bunch of holes there where all the goblins can enter my computer. We gotta seal it. That's a real concern, Beth. People are worried about the goblins. Don't dismiss it. So that's where this thing comes in. The absolute worst part of building computers, the I/O shield. Nobody makes these in any kind of good quality. They're always cheap garbage, and I hate them. Look at this. It's this tiny, crappy piece of metal with, like, tags And I've never been sure if you're like supposed to tear the tags off or just kind of stick them there, because both options are bad. Dear motherboard manufacturers, please just like have this start out attached to the plugs. Like, why do I have to insert it? God, I fucking hate this thing. First we stick it on there like that. Boom.
Gorgeous.
You're gorgeous, Beth. Not in a weird way though, because like you're my sister and stuff, but you know.
Sounds. Do you need help?
Did Neil Armstrong need help when he landed on the moon, Beth?
Yeah. He did not get to the moon by himself.
Do you see what I mean? How there's like this kind of gap between, like this is just...
goblins can still get in.
I know. There's a bunch of holes on our motherboard, like this one, which should line up with things below that are called standoffs, which are like kind of little pillars with a screw hole. Screw hole. So we're gonna put these screws in the screw holes. Okay, the first standoff screw is in.
Woohoo.
Woohoo indeed.
How many standoff screws are there?
I don't know, because like there's some holes on the motherboard, but not all of them line up with standoffs. So I'm just gonna like try holes until one of them doesn't accept a screw.
Exciting.
All right, there we are. The motherboard is now screwed in.
Yay!
So this is the fan. It spins and it scoops air out, and when all these electronics generate heat, because there's a bunch of electricity in them, then the fan like sends the hot air out so cold air can flow in, and you know, just trying to battle entropy, as fruitless as it is, because eventually all will be void. We got this plug for the fan. And there's the thing where you put the fan in.
Where it is.
That's really hard to film. But I just stuck it in. So now the fan will turn on, probably. If I did it right. Probably did. So, as I think I showed off before, there's a bunch of cables here that come from the front panel. So, like, these correspond to the USB plugs and the power, the amazing power button and whatnot. And so these all got to be plugged into the motherboard. And this is a really, really annoying task because look at how tiny this is. And these have to go in exactly the right holes. That's what she said. Okay, let's get going.
Okay, so some exciting developments because we cut for like 5 minutes. Jimmy thinks he figured out where to put everything, and he got them all in, except then his cable management was trash. So he's fixing one of them. Go, Jimmy. Go, Jimmy. Go, go, go. You got it?
Okay, I think all
Yeah! You guys missed all the complaining because we cut for 5 minutes.
I complained a lot. I hate those little...
You got it.
Hi, Mom. You want to be on YouTube? You want to be a star?
I already am a star.
So we only have one more part to install, and that's
Woohoo.
this guy.
Yeah.
This is the power supply. I like your enthusiasm, Beth. So as you might know, if you are perhaps an electrical engineer or some kind of scientist, computers need electricity to run.
Damn.
Yeah. And so the power supply is the bit that takes the electricity from the socket in the wall and distributes it to all of the components of the computer as they demand it. So let's open her up. All right, so let's see. We got a manual.
Does it suck?
No, EVGA always makes good manuals.
Hell yeah, go EVGA.
That, yeah. It's got a whole bunch of cables. These are for, you know, as mentioned, supplying the power to the components. And then we got the power supply itself. So, would you like to pop some bubble wrap, Beth?
I would.
Or is it non-poppable bubble wrap?
It's kind of
there's
pops.
little pops.
It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like lame.
Yeah, EVGA, if you're listening, the thing I'd really like in your future power supplies is better bubble wrap. This is the power supply. It's got a fan for cooling it. This is the place where the power from the wall plugs in. Then it's got a bunch of cables attached to it. We gotta plug those cables into the parts of the computer. This goes in there. There we go.
More manuals. Jimmy's reading a manual. Reading a manual.
All right. I hope I don't screw this up. Great. All right, that power supply is firmly in there. Excellent. Okay, so we need to send power there for the CPU, and we need to send power there for the motherboard. Did I fuck up again?
Yeah,
I fucked up. I put it in the wrong hole.
How?
I don't know, it just kind of slipped in. Stupid piece of shit.
Yay!
Yay, the CPU now has power. Excellent. So just one more thing to plug in, and then the whole of the computer is done. All right, so this supplies power to the motherboard and to everything directly attached to the motherboard.
Put in?
That's what she said. It's in! The computer is assembled.
Yay, with terrible cord management.
Yeah, you know what, Beth? You don't look at the cables. But you're right, the cable management is pretty bad. I sort of have a tradition when building computers that the people who build it sign a little message, give the computer a name, and just write something on the inside of the case for anybody else who's using the computer in the future. So this machine is going to build a logic world. It's going to be a builder, and as a builder, I think the most appropriate name I can give it is Bob.
Ah, yeah! I was looking up to build. I was like, it better be Bob. It better be Bob. Okay.
So Bob the Builder it will be.
Hell yeah.
Let's write that in here. Bob. What's today's date, Beth?
Oh, the 22nd of June,
All
which
right.
is the 6th month.
I know what month June is, duh. The final version of Logic World 1.0 is going to be built on this machine, is going to be compiled.
In 2022, when it finally comes out.
It's just kind of amazing to look at this box and know that it is going to be a critical part of the culmination of the past 2.5 years of my life of working on this project. So I want to write something to remind myself of this feeling.
Like, you know, like from Toy Story to Infinity and Beyond? Like, to Logic World and Beyond.
I like that.
Oh, thank you.
To Logic World and Beyond. And I think I'm going to draw a little Mouse Hat Games logo. I think that would be cute.
The real question is, how good are you at drawing Mouse Hat Games logos?
I have never done this before. This is the first time I'm drawing our logo, and holy crap, I'm bad at it.
I mean, I can tell it's like a... No, if I know, what is that?
It's a fucking tail, you illiterate piece of shit. There, it's a mouse. Oh, I forgot to give it a hat.
You're calling Mouse Hat Games!
Wait. There.
Absolutely
Mouse Hat Games.
gorgeous. Doesn't that
Thank
look
you.
like a mouse to you guys? You know, with the nice humpback, the little tail that goes into the very evenly colored in hat.
Alright, and I'm gonna sign this.
Wow, actual signature.
Thanks, Beth.
Impressive.
Would you like to sign it, Beth?
I really
since you were
don't
part of
think
this?
I was part of this, but I do enjoy being immortalized in the inside of a computer case.
Alright, give it a sign.
Nailed it.
Excellent. Alright,
Oh, my finger got it.
let's put this thing on. So in order to get the top of the case in, I have to like press down on it and slide it this way at the same time. So this is how I do that.
Dude, you need to put screws in?
I do need to put screws in.
Screw them.
Oh my god! Okay,
That was so funny!
guest appearance by Sarah.
And there it is. Bob the Builder is complete.
Yeah!
Yeah. Alright, now, oh god, I hope it turns on. What if we press the power button and it doesn't turn on? I'm gonna cry.
Jimmy was an idiot and didn't look in the box.
I did not look in the box.
Oh, so we found some Velcro ties.
Yeah, some Velcro ties for cables, which
Yeah.
would have come in handy, but
Given
well.
how your cable management is.
That's a really hurtful thing to say, Beth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not taking it back. So Jimmy has been trying to find the right cable to plug in for power or something. I don't know what he's
It's an
doing.
HDMI cable, so we can
Yeah.
actually look at
But he grabbed one, failed, and now has come back. This is not sounding good. What did you do?
Remember how I said I hate the I/O shield, this little
Yes.
cheap piece of metal? And I hated the little tags.
Yes.
Here's why. One of the little tags went into the HDMI thing. And now, oh my god, what are we gonna do, Beth? The proper thing to do would be to take the whole computer apart, because you need to get at the I/O shield, and then put in the I/O shield the right way. But I don't want to do that. I'm a busy man, and I'm also a lazy man. Another thing we could try is just don't use that plug. Use a DVI-D or something instead. Or, as Beth suggested, we could get some pliers and try to yank the tag out. And that's one sounds like the most fun, so I'm gonna do that. All right, here we go. I'm pliering myself to the task.
God, I already told you that sucked. You need smaller pliers, dude.
Yeah, I need smaller pliers.
Is it possible?
Or this knife.
Why just put your finger around it now?
Ah, yes.
Got it. The tag is out.
There. Screw I/O shields. I hate them all. What do you think, Beth? Is the cable gonna go in now?
Hopefully.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. Now Bob the Builder is done.
So Jimmy's drinking water because he's a nerd. But so
Because I'm terrified of kidney stones. Oh God, I'm so scared of kidney stones.
okay, so he has connected a monitor and a keyboard and other stuff. He's plugged it into a wall, and we're gonna see if it works now.
Oh man, I'm so excited. This is the first time I'm pressing this amazing power button, and like, hopefully it will do something. It turned on!
It lit up!
It lit up!
Oh, it's so cool!
The fans are spinning. This seems
You can't
good.
see anything?
I really like the color on that power button. That's just cementing its status as the best power button I've ever seen.
The color doesn't look as good on camera, but like, guys, trust me, it is a dope
It's a really
power
nice
button.
color. And nothing's coming through to the... It's a little alarming. There should be something displayed on the monitor here.
Oh, no.
Hey!
Does this mean that it works?
It works!
Yeah!
We did it right, Beth. We did it. We built a
Wait,
computer.
I didn't get the proper dancing in. You gotta do your
Okay, I will
happiness.
dance again. It works! I'm so excited. Yes. Oh, how's this for a move?
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Ooh, boom, boom.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to install Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, and I'm using the desktop version instead of the server version because I'm a scrub. So I'm going to plug this in. So Ubuntu is an operating system just like Windows or Mac OS. So the operating system is on this stick. Going to plug it in here. And if we press a key, it should start installing that. I don't know. F11. There we go.
Ooh, it's pink.
Wow. Okay, so Bob the Builder is complete and fully
Hell
working.
yeah.
Yeah.
First try.
When you play Logic World, you will play a version of Logic World that was built by this machine right here. That's pretty neat. Good aerial shots, Beth. We should get some drones in here. Do some drone shots.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
those would
computer.
work.
Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Huge special thanks to Beth for doing the filming.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see me, but...
Great. And I will see you next Wednesday. Take care.